Hi, welcome and welcome back. I hope you're doing well. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by and welcome. I want to encourage you to hit the subscribe button and to like, comment, share if you'd like. Have a look around, jump in the comments. I've created some playlists to help you to better identify subtopics that might be more pertinent or more relevant to your situation. Hopefully you find that helpful. Also, if you have any ideas for future videos, drop those in the comments below. If you are currently subscribed and you have been here, I really appreciate it. My name's Leslie, and I am a Master Certified Health Coach, a Certified Trauma Support Specialist, and I have a lifetime of experience with narcissistic abuse. I was raised by a narcissistic parent. I grew up in a narcissistic family. I have had some narcissistic romantic encounters in the past. I have certainly experienced some narcissistically abusive behavior in the workplace when I had a corporate job. Also, I have encountered fake friends, narcissistic neighbors, also con artists and scammers, including an alleged murderer who is still in jail awaiting trial. As far as I know, I can link that video below, and also I can link one of the news articles that was written about the situation. And it was very tragic. It was horrible. And it wasn't just me that was affected in that case. It was actually a whole community of people here in the Phoenix area. But I wanted to share that. Everybody's situation is different. That's definitely one of the more extreme situations or extreme examples of narcissistic abuse that I've experienced. But it was a big wake-up call. The illusion of closeness or proximity that social media gives us, it's easy to feel like, oh, we're all part of the same community and we're all one big happy family. And that's not necessarily the case. You have more access to people, and maybe the appearance of proximity, it can feel familiar in a way that can cause you to let your guard down and not do proper vetting. And we can talk about that some more in a future video. I want to talk to you about how you can get 30 years to life behind closed doors with a narcissist. And this is a tough subject or touchy subject, because it doesn't make sense in some ways. Like, how could someone spend an extended period of time with a narcissist? How could somebody subject themselves or expose themselves to an abusive person for a long time? Like, say, for example, in a long marriage of, say, 30 plus years. I saw that with my parents. And to people who maybe have not been through narcissistic abuse, or people who have been through it but who got out sooner, it can seem kind of foreign and like, okay, why are you staying? Why are you subjecting yourself to this? It can be really challenging. It can be frustrating. It can be really scary, and it can be overwhelming, and it can be devastating emotionally, psychologically, financially, and otherwise. I'm going to touch on 6 ways. Any others, pop in the comments below, because it may help someone else. One way is kids. Kids can be the reason for someone staying in a narcissistically abusive relationship for an extended period of time. I know that as a teenager in high school, I literally approached my mom after being abandoned repeatedly on various weekends by my dad. I confronted my mom and I asked her, like, look, what's going on? And I finally figured it out. She kind of had me guessing, and I guessed, and I figured it out. I figured out that he was struggling with addiction and that he was leaving to go do drugs, and that, you know, she was sneaking him back in the house so that we wouldn't see, so that he could sleep it off. And then we played happy family. When I approached her about us leaving and starting a new life without my dad, I was shut down essentially. And the response I got was, you are not going to make me divorce your dad. You guys need your dad. Your brother needs his dad. So kids can be a reason for someone staying, especially if they were a child of divorce, that they don't want to repeat that. They don't want their kids to go through the same thing that they went through. Plus, they may feel like there's some benefit to be gained by having the family unit stay intact, even if it's on the surface. As a kid who grew up in a family that was dysfunctional but stayed together in part for the sake of the kids, me being one of them, that it did more damage, I think, than good in the long run. And my brother and I have had a lot more to untangle as a result of my mom's decision to stay married to my dad for decades. And I think she finally separated from him after we were both out of the house. And that might have been the plan or the goal. But I think that the additional exposure that we had to him and his abusive behavior during those years did more damage. Another way that you can spend 30 years to life behind closed doors with a narcissist is hopium or smoking hopium. Holding out that hope that the person is going to change, or that you can fix them, or that you can love them through it, or that they'll mature over time and the behavior will dissipate, or that they will maybe respond favorably to certain milestones, like say a particular anniversary, or a milestone like kids graduating from high school, that they'll get better. But a lot of times, as you know, the behavior gets worse. A third way that you can get 30 years to life behind closed doors with a narcissist is religion and or culture. And sometimes in certain religions, divorce is frowned upon. In certain cultures, family is held in high regard. Like, you do not turn your back on family. You stick it out no matter what. You put up and tolerate each other's idiosyncrasies and quirks, and it doesn't matter what it is. Family comes first, family's family, and that's that. Cultural considerations can be super, super hard to overcome depending on your background. And religious obligations or doctrines can cause guilt and shame that is hard to overcome as well. Fourth way that you can get 30 years to life with a narcissist is finances. You may be struggling financially. Things have been really tough over the last couple of years for a lot of people, and you may be living with someone and feeling like you can't leave because you can't stand on your own 2 feet, or you've taken a hit, you've lost your job, your business is folded, or you've had some loss of clients. The narcissistic partner may have squandered money. It may be a business partner, or it could be a spouse, but the long-term partner may have squandered some money where you're maybe hopium, that you can get some of those losses back. And so you stick it out in hopes that you can recoup those losses, or that that person can make up for the losses. And a lot of times, quite frankly, it's a loss. You may have some concerns about paying them. Say if you're the breadwinner, not wanting to pay spousal support, in addition to having to sort out child support and custody issues. A fifth way that you can get 30 years to life with a narcissist is simply the narcissist's stubborn refusal to let you go. They may selfishly want to continue to reap the benefits of being in a relationship with you or some other kind of partnership. They may be too prideful to admit that they are causing problems in the relationship, or dragging you down, or holding you back, or they may not want to go to therapy. The narcissist may know deep down, as I think we all do deep down, that they're broken and that they're stuck, and that maybe no one else is going to put up with it, or that they are going to have a hard time finding someone else to meet their needs. And so then selfishly, they cling on to the long-term relationship, and maybe they're being threatening, or whether it's threatening to harm themselves in some way or threatening to harm you, so that you can stay in the relationship, or to justify continuing this long-term relationship. A sixth way that you can get 30 years to life with a narcissist is fear. It could be fear of being alone. You may have some concerns about being able to find love again, or especially if you've endured a long period of abusive behavior, or maybe you're older in years, or you have kids, and you feel like that might kind of work against you when it comes to meeting someone new and being able to enter a new relationship. There may also be some fear around, as I mentioned previously, with regard to finances, paying the narcissistic partner, like buying them out or paying them some kind of spousal support. In the moment, that may seem like a good idea, to where you will continue to subject yourself to this cycle of abusive behavior. Finally, there may be a fear of repeating a cycle, like say if you're a product of divorce, you may not want your kids to experience that, or you may not want to live that out in your own life, and so you may stick out a relationship that's not ideal by any means and even unhealthy or toxic, because you don't want to go through that experience, especially if that experience for you as a child was traumatizing. You may not want to have to explain the failed marriage or explain the divorce. And so that fear can keep you stuck. If this is your situation, I'm so sorry, and that you are absolutely not alone. You are not the first person to go through this, nor will you be the last. And if you know someone who is going through something like this, that it's not just them. There are a lot of people who are in this type of situation, especially now with everything that's going on in the world, economically and otherwise. This is a journey. Like, we're all doing life and walking our path in life, and we have to do it at our own pace. And everyone's path looks different. It can take a long time to heal. It can take a long time to even work up the courage to leave. And some people, unfortunately, it can take them 30 years to life. And sometimes the end of the narcissistic partner's life is what ends the abuse. Having a strong support network is so important when you're going through something like this. It could be a trusted friend or a trusted family member. It could be a religious group or a club that you're a part of, where you have people that you can lean on. It could be a therapist or other practitioner. It could even be your favorite cafe, a safe space where you can be yourself, where you can unwind, unload, treat yourself in some kind of way, be kind to yourself, do something good for yourself, do something encouraging and uplifting for yourself, or even just journal and just get out your feelings and thoughts on paper, or maybe even draft a plan to leave. Narcissistically abusive relationships can be very, very tricky. For a variety of reasons, you can end up spending 30 years to life in a narcissistically abusive relationship. And whatever they are, they're your reasons. It can be painful on a lot of levels. It can be shameful. It can be very scary. Work with what you have, go in the strength that you have, and navigate as best you can. And know that you're not alone and you're not crazy. Know who you're dealing with, know who you are. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.